What's up guys, DuArktik here with another Marvel Strike Force video, and in this video I'm back to talk about Frozen Dimension. I'm gonna give you the best tips and tricks in order for you to complete this as free to play as possible. If you really want to complete this in a easy mode, you kinda have to have the two new characters, because these characters have specific mechanics that will allow you to bypass the enemy's mechanics as well. Scopely made something very interesting, which is giving 100% speed bar or 100% speed, I'm not sure which one, to all the enemies. So we have to rely on mechanics like counter-attacks and attacks outside of your own turn in order for you to damage your enemies. And this is going to be the fastest and easiest approach that you can have to complete this. So we're going to talk about the characters that you want to consider gearing up, and also talk about the ISO weight that you are going to require on specific nodes that are going to be very difficult. Now, I already have a video on my YouTube channel about this. It has a full guide. One of the parts is like some of the parts are on auto. Halfway through we are kind of playing it on auto. If you still want to consider like checking which enemies you have to target first, you should definitely check it out. But after halfway through, it gets a lot more difficult and it has to be played on manual. So this is something that you have to consider because it gets really challenging. Something I mentioned in the past and people ignored it is that Captain Marvel is going to be an absolute queen, and she's an absolute queen. She's probably more important than Kahhori for you to clear this event, so keep that in mind. You need both of them, but Captain Marvel is a huge deal. And hopefully you guys got lucky with those new orbs that give you character shards for them, or you should save your power cores and spend for this event. Now, you don't have to do this event, by the way. You don't have to do this event. This is an event for endgame players, and it's just something that we finally got. Like, wow, finally the endgame players got some content to do. You have 19 days in order for you to complete these. I strongly believe that Scopely eventually will extend this. We'll see. And the rewards are not even that great. Like, the rewards are not even that great. You get some purple ISO weight, you get some diamonds, you get some gold character shards, but all the character shards, they will be farmable within 2 or 3 weeks. So what we are getting is nothing special. We are just doing this for the gameplay, for the challenge. And something that really pisses me off, but we're gonna address this in another video, is that we have the envoys, including Mobile Gamer, that said, oh, give me something challenging, the rewards don't even matter if the gameplay is good. But then he complains because it's too difficult. It's too difficult. I don't take any turns. And once again, this is because he does not understand the strategy that you need here. You need characters with counterattacks. You need characters with attacks outside of their turn. So with this long introduction, I apologize for that. Let's get started. Let's take a look at what you have to do in order for you to be successful in Frozen Dimension. And as always, if you like the information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more Marvel Strike Force content, and make sure you smash that like button like a boss. Now, Frozen Dimension, Scopely mentions it right here. You need Annihilators, you need Absolute A-Force, and they mention right here. This event is very challenging. This event is very challenging. So if you accept to start the event and to start the challenge, well, expect to be challenged, right? That's how it should be. So you consented to be challenged. So don't be angry that you are struggling. It's part of the journey. It's to struggle. That's what makes you to have fun, is when you overcome the struggle. So if you have a mindset that you feel entitled for these rewards or for the experience of the gameplay, then you are doing something wrong. You definitely have some problem that you need to address. Okay, so let's take a look at the characters that we need, and we're gonna start with probably one of the most important characters, not Scientist Supreme, but Omega Sentinel. So Omega Sentinel is very important. Why is she important? Because she does damage outside of her turn. This is extremely important. She's pinging the enemies all the time, and this damage will delete characters without you taking action. But this is part of the strategy. This is like a Black Knight. Your enemies are attacking you and you are retaliating them from those attacks. So she's going to be extremely important. You can use her together with Kahhori, Miss Marvel Classic, Wasp, and Ironheart. And that's it. In terms of the other Orchis characters, every now and then you can use Scientist Supreme or Lady Deathstrike or even Nimrod, but it's not really necessary because once again we are relying on counter mechanics and we're also relying on having our characters to do attacks outside of their turns. Now, with Sentinels, you have the chance of getting characters on your characters with the OG Sentinel. The problem with that is that these characters are way too slow, and because of that, well, you can't do it, right? And because some of the enemies, they apply Disrupt to you. Not in every node, but some nodes, yes, this is the case, they'll apply Disrupt to you, so you cannot get counters or speed up or anything like that. And that's why in some nodes you literally have to use A-Force. You do have no other option than using A-Force, because these guys, they are just too slow for this specific content. And while they have some of the mechanics that they need, they don't have all of them. But this girl right here, she's definitely the character that is the MVP of the Orchis. So if you don't have any other option, make sure you use her as a raider in order for her to ping as much as possible, or striker, like anything that increases your damage output. Okay, so let's talk about A-Force. We're gonna start off with Kahhori, but we're gonna be honest, all of the characters are important except Ironheart. You can use Omega Sentinel instead of Ironheart, but if you want to use Ironheart, she's fine too. Don't get me wrong, she's fine too. Okay, so Kahhori, it's very important because she has 2 turns right away, and this is why I feel like the enemies, they have extra speed, not speed bar. So they have a huge amount of speed right away. But because she has speed bar, she goes first. And with her special, you can apply offense down to your opponents and heal block. And these 2 negative effects are very important. Now, with Kahhori, you need to have or Skirmisher or Raider to apply vulnerabilities. And there will be nodes where you'll play with Odin together with her, and even Old Man Logan. So, once again, thanks to Mobile Gamer for nerfing Kahhori Basic, because he just made, based on this bullshit feedback, he just made the whole event a lot harder on specific nodes where, once again, you have to use Odin and or Old Man Logan in order to go through that event or through those nodes. So once again, you need Skirmisher or Raider because you need characters to apply vulnerabilities. And if you have her at 3 stars, it works. You don't need these characters at 4 stars, 5 stars. Some people are saying, oh, it only works with characters with 7 stars. No, it's not the case. 3 stars is enough. You just need the character unlocked, and then you have to play with ISO 8 to see if you need Skirmisher or not. Something about ISO 8 is that you need ISO 8 at level 3. Should you invest on these characters for ISO 8 level 3? It's up to you to decide. Once again, if you want to have the experience, if you want to face the challenge and overcome it, you have to invest for that. So it's up to you to decide. If you already have Odin, then this is going to be great for you. Once again, this is to the absolute end game players. Only like 200 people finished this so far. And that's not a problem because you have 18 days to complete it. So that's it. Okay, so that's all about Kahhori. Now we're going to talk about the most important character, or the second most important character, which is Miss Marvel Classic. Why is she so important? Because when she has charges, she's going to lose those charges, and then she's going to give to her team offense up, speed up, and 2 counters. And these counters will allow us to do a lot of damage to the enemies. She also clears negative effects from herself and now absolute A-Force allies. And she also does healing and a few other mechanics as well. While this character has charges, she cannot gain heal block, disrupt, and defense down. And all your war buffs are active. So if you have war characters, you want to pair them up with this team as well. Okay, now in terms of the ISO 8 for Miss Marvel Classic, as I mentioned, having Skirmisher is important, but having healer for her specifically is even more important. The healer Isa weight will help you clear bleeds from your allies, including Hank Pym, Old Man Logan, Odin, Mephisto, whatever. You have to use all of those characters, and it's really important for her to have the healer Isa weight to clear away the bleeds from your allies. It's really, really important. And she also has some passive healing that she does. Heal self and absolute F-Force allies by 10% and flip to bleed, clear away and lose 1 charge. So the Eliza weight is going to increase this healing by 28%, which is not a lot, but because she has so many charges, well, it's going to add up quite considerably, and it's really, really important in my opinion. Okay, so Eliza weight, absolute must-have for her. Let's talk about the other 2 characters, which is Ironheart and also Wasp. Wasp, you have to use her as a striker. You really need to do the T4 on the special. There will be a situation where you'll have to one-shot Odin. Yes, you'll have to one-shot Odin. And this is the way. You need to have her as a raider or as a striker. If you're going to go with a raider path, you need to get lucky and get the crits. If not, the striker Isolate. And hopefully your Isolate attack will finish her off. And she's the character that you want to consider taking to Crimson Gear. The other girl, Ironheart, not so much, but Wasp is really, really strong. She also has some Dark Dimension effects that will work in Pocket Dimension, but you need 4 or more Pimp characters, so, well, you can only use 2 if you can. So these effects will not work, but she has a lot of dodge, especially if she's charged, so that's going to make it even better because she'll have additional survivability. Okay, let's talk about Ironheart. I use the Ironheart as a striker, and I talked with the people in my chat. They also said that they were using it as a striker. I was actually using it as a raider. But after my run, and after looking at my own footage, I think the best ISO weight for her is going to be the Skirmisher ISO weight. And because we need, once again, someone to apply the vulnerabilities, and you don't want it to be Kahhori, because Kahhori, she's at 3 stars, and she's going to get clapped, right? So you want to make sure that she has Skirmisher as a way to apply the vulnerabilities, and I think, in my opinion, this is going to be the fastest way for you to clear this event and make it as easy as possible. And this all comes down now to the position of the characters. And I got this question asked to me yesterday like 10 times, really 10 times. Why do you have the Captain Marvel in the corner? So this is not my safe squad. My safe squad is this one right here. So for example, this one. Why do I have Captain Marvel in the middle? Why do I have Captain Marvel in the middle? Like, the reason why I have Captain Marvel in the middle, it's because she's the character with the taunt, right? And there is a big misconception that you should put your characters, if they have taunt, you should put them in the corner. That's only true sometimes. You should put them in the corner if the character next to it has dodge, or counter, or stealth. So you stop chain attacks. That's fine. But when you are in Dark Dimension, when you are in situations like these, and you have enough survivability to take the damage in the face, then you should put your character with the taunt in the middle. So all the counter attacks are done by the characters in the middle. So instead, if you ever in the corner, you'll have one herself. If you ever like this, you'll have herself with counters, right? Let's do like this. So like this, only she does counter. Like this, we have 2 people doing counters. But if you ever like this, well, then you have 3 people doing counters, right? And this is what you want. If you want to increase your damage output, and the faster you kill your enemies, the more chances you have of surviving, this is what you want to do. You want to increase the chances of your enemies getting counter-attacked, and this is the way to go. And like I said, this is why you need Ironheart as a skirmisher, Captain Marvel as a healer, and this girl as a striker. So you have someone healing, you have someone applying vulnerabilities, and you have someone doing the damage against your enemies. It's very simple. One character I didn't mention, but is very helpful, is Guardian, because Guardian will give offense up on spawn and barrier, and that will increase the survivability of your team, and it will also increase the damage output from the team, but also from Kahhori turn 1. And offense up also increases your focus by 50%, So it will also help Kahhori applying the expose and also applying her negative effects, including trauma, which is very, very important. So this is another character that you should consider taking along your journey, because it's really important. You can see right here some of the teams that I used. So A-Force with Guardian, A-Force with Tank Beam, but there are other characters as well that we have to use. Which is once again the big boys, right? We're going to talk about the big boys. So Old Man Logan, very important. Mephisto, very important. This guy, Odin, very important as well. Can you do it without them? Maybe you can. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure, because the last node is very, very difficult. The last few nodes are very difficult, really. And you have to play around with it. You can try. So, for example, making your Kahhori Fortifier, and if you don't have Mephisto, bring Apocalypse and Super Scroll to extra health. But you need to get lucky. You need to get lucky so the enemies don't crit you, and you can survive their attacks. Might take a few resets and so on to get along, but that's the way to go. Okay, so with this into consideration, Old Man Logan, Striker, yes, Mephisto, Striker. Apocalypse, if you try to use him, just use him as a fortifier, I guess. He doesn't have enough health and he gets one-shotted very easily. Odin, you can use Odin as a healer or as a raider or as a skirmisher. That's going to be good for you. You're going to apply vulnerabilities, or you are going to increase the healing of the team. But one big problem with Odin, and once again this all comes down to what Mobile Gamer did with the nerf on Kahhori, is that now you cannot activate Odin passive easily because she's not assisting, right? Or he's not assisting her, and that's a huge problem. You have to use her ultimate or a special in order for you to get an assist from him. And sometimes you don't want to do that. You really want to make sure that you're using those abilities when you actually need them. And beyond that, I think that's it. Like, it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult. You have to be patient in order for you to attack. And you have to kill the right targets. And you have to kill the right targets on the right occasion. And this is why, once again, I'm going to recommend you to check out my video on this topic. And it has timestamps, it has everything, and you can check out which enemies to attack, and when to stun, when not to stun, when to flip the buffs, when not to flip the buffs. There are cooldowns that you need to save. You should always try to have the ultimate and the special on Kahhori, and that's pretty much it. You can unlock these characters with power cores right now. And once again, you only need these characters at 3 L stars, 3 red stars in order for you to do this. After that, invest on them as much as you feel like it. Of course, if you can do Crimson Gear, that would be great. They are good characters for Alliance Wars, they are good characters for Cosmic Crucible, they are good characters for even Dark Dimension 9 or Dark Dimension 8 in the future. But the only requirement that you really need is the Purple ISO 8. There will be nodes that require Purple ISO 8. So keep that in mind. So yeah, guys, I think those are all the tips and trips that I can give to you right now. And if I have something new in the near future, I will let you know. Medusa will make this a lot easier. I'm gonna be honest with that. Like, Medusa will make it a lot easier because she will reduce the damage of the enemies and she will increase your speed and your resistance. I am not sure. She reduces the resistance of the enemies. She reduces the damage of the enemies. They will not have that proof, so you'll be able to kill them a lot faster. And yeah, you'll have more speed. And she also does a lot of damage, which is nice. But there you go. We're gonna run with Medusa on Friday and see if it makes it a lot easier or not. But once again, that's all that I have for you right now. And that's gonna be the video, guys. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Once again, don't be salty about it. This is something that is challenging. This is something for the endgame players. The rewards are not even that good for us. For us endgame players, it doesn't really matter. But if you're a free-to-play player and if you can cash in on some of these rewards, make the most out of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. If you like information on these videos, make sure you share it with your friends on Facebook and Discord. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more mouse tech first content. And I'll catch you guys later.